Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Amazing Seller Podcast. This is episode number 781 and session number 243 of Ask Scott. This is where I answer your questions here on the podcast. And I can't wait to do it again here today. And today I am excited because, well, this is a question. This is something that I have dealt with, that I know a lot of people deal with, even really successful people battle with. And it doesn't really matter what level you're at. And that is how to increase my confidence and remove self-doubt. That's a big one. And we're going to talk about that. I've got some thoughts. I've also got some action steps for you that if you are feeling this way, totally normal, by the way. And, it doesn't really ever go away, at least from my experience, but it does get easier. And if you have things to kind of plug in that will help you through that, it can really take you from feeling like, oh, I can't do that because, look at them, they can do it, but I can't. I'm not as smart. I'm not this, I'm not that. It kind of removes that, and it just makes you feel as though you will have that confidence. And I'm going to give you something today that will help you with that. So that also lends itself to a special announcement that I have today, which has, I kind of mentioned it on another episode, but kind of very nonchalant. But today I am going to make an effort here to let you guys know that it is official now, currently, right now, today, that the audiobook is available for the Take Action Effect. If you guys are brand new to the podcast, recently, actually, I announced it at Brand Accelerator Live last year in September. It was a secret project I was working on over 12 months long, and it finally was done and ready for the reveal there. And I've gotten so many people already that have said this has really just changed their life, and really it just changed their perspective. And part of what I'm going to talk about today comes from a lot of the stuff I teach and I talk about in the first half of the Take Action Effect. And just want to let you guys know, though, that the audiobook is now available. Yes, it is now available, and you can grab a copy. And I'm actually going to give you an opportunity to get it for free. And let me talk about this. So, number one, if you just want to grab the book and support the book and get it on audio. And just to let you know, if you already have a hard copy of the book, the audiobook is me reading it. Personally, I didn't want to hire anyone for that. And there's also, there's some little spins in there that I take you on. And there's little spots that I kind of go off and give some additional thoughts that I didn't include in the book, because as I was in the moment, things just kind of came back to me as I was going through and reading the book. So those are there for you as well. So if you did already purchase the book, if you grab the audiobook, you'll get that as well. I know myself personally, I get both. I generally get the physical copy and the audiobook. And the only way I won't get the audiobook a lot of times is if the author is not reading it. I like the author reading their own book. All right. But if you want to grab a copy, takeactioneffect.com will take you there. And then you can go over to Amazon and you can buy the book if you want to on Audible. But if you want to get a free copy, all you need to do is sign up for a free 14-day trial of Audible using my affiliate link. Yes, you will buy me a cup of coffee. So regardless, yes, you will buy me a cup of coffee as if you were to, same thing, just go buy the book. It's not a lot of money, but it's a cup of coffee, and you can go to Audible and sign up for a 14 free trial, and they will let you get one free book. So you can pick my book and get it for free. See, that's how you would do it. So go to theamazingseller.com/audible. If you go to theamazingseller.com/audible, you'll get that book. All right. So let's just dig in. All right. Because really, I generally start with like a thought of the week and all of that stuff. This really is the thought right now because it's kind of front of mind. And this question came not from a voicemail. It came from someone that's inside of Brand Creators Academy. And once she spoke up, a lot of people chimed in and said, hey, I get it, right? Like me too. Or I came in, I'm like, yeah, I get it. And it was, she said, it's really hard for me to step out of my comfort zone because I don't feel I have the confidence and I have a lot of self-doubt and I want to get over that. I know I got to get over that, but I get stuck and I make excuses because, well, if you make excuses, you can't actually do it. And if you can't do it, then you can't fail. That's really what it's all about. I mean, think about it. There's a reason why you haven't done what you want to do. It's not because necessarily even the work. It could be because you've done something in the past and it didn't work and you either looked foolish or, well, at least you thought you did, or you just felt like, oh, see, it doesn't work for me. I'm not as good as them, right? So there's things that might have happened in the course of your life that is giving you that limiting belief and that self-doubt. It could be having someone in your life that was negative towards you. You know, maybe they didn't build up your confidence. Maybe they made you feel like you couldn't do something. And I know that's common in a lot of people's childhood as they're growing up. It's just like, you can't do that. You're not fast enough to do that. Come on, you're slow, right? Like not building them up. All right. So that could be it. You might want to identify that. And again, I don't want this to be a therapy session, although it could be. You got to dig deep. You got to dig deep and figure out what is it that's blocking you. All right. Now, I'm going to give you an exercise. I actually give this inside the book as well. Okay. Because like I said, the first part of the take action effect is really getting the mindset right. We got to get that right. If you don't get that right, you're probably not going to achieve the things that you really, truly want to achieve. Because in the book and just in general, I believe in movement creates results, right? Like doing something creates a result. So the effect of taking action is the result, right? Like you're going to get that effect. And a lot of times that effect is rippled because one thing leads to the next, to the next, to the next. It just opens up opportunities. Okay. So I talk a lot about in the book about take action moments and these moments that you've probably already done in your life that have led you to where you are right now. All right. And this will help you get over these limiting beliefs. It will build up your confidence. All right. And I'm going to share an Amway story with you. It was a humiliating story. It was something that totally I could have been defeated for the rest of my life. I was young. I was naive. And I could have felt like a huge failure. I was embarrassed. And I actually tell a detailed story in the book, but I'll give you the summarized version. But basically, when I believe I was around 22 years old, newly married, just had our first child, who's now is 24, by the way, which is crazy. And I was working for my father. I was working for him for maybe a couple of years at this point in construction. But, I wanted some extra money. I wanted to make some extra side money. So someone had approached me and said, hey, have you ever heard of Amway? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, it's really cool because if you get people to sign up underneath you, that you can make money. And I'm like, well, how does that work? And then they laid out this whole, they call it the plan, right? And then they teach you how to promote the plan and how to contact all your friends. And this is way before Facebook too, by the way, right? If you had some people on an email list, that was even great. But a lot of times you didn't have that. And I'm young. I didn't even have a computer at that point. Literally, I'm thinking back, I didn't even have a computer at that age. I was against computers at that age, which is kind of funny. So anyway, I listened to the story and I'm like, this sounds amazing. Like all I need to do is buy products through Amway myself, under myself. And then from there, I got to tell other people about the plan on how they can buy products through themselves and then share the plan with other people, get them underneath them. Kind of sounds like a pyramid scheme, right? But technically it's multi-level marketing, right? So I don't know how they get away from that, but regardless, I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to be a millionaire and, and all of this, right? So they have these meetings, you go to there and they kind of like highlight all of the people that are somewhat successful or that you think they are. And it gets you to really aspire to be that. And then you had to dress a certain way, suit and tie. And by the way, I'm not a suit and tie guy, never was, never want to be. And so I followed everything to a T. I contacted all my friends and family. And one incident stands out to me in this story that really made me say, okay, this is not for me, and made me feel like a failure. So I called up my cousin who's older than me. And I mentioned to her, made small talk and stuff. And I was like, I got something really cool I want to share with you. I'm not sure if you and your husband are going to be around. His name is Tim. I'm like, I'm not sure if you're going to be around, but I'd really love to sit down with you and, visit, but I'd like to show you something that you might be interested in. And it's a great opportunity. And she was, polite and everything. It's like, okay, cool. I'll tell you what, I'll make dinner. And she's a great cook. So she was going to make an Italian dinner. And I'm like, okay. So we set the date. And then I go ahead and I put my suit on. And the suit was purchased for either a wedding or a funeral, one or the other. And so I got the suit, I got the tie, I got everything. My wife at the time, my wife still, but my wife, it was kind of weird that I even had a wife at 22, but I did. And Lisa, and she got herself all, done up, and she's in a dress. And so we show up, and my cousin Cindy's like, hey, like you could tell she was a little, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And, whatever. And I didn't say anything about the way I was dressed or anything like that. I just figured, you know what, I'm going to go in there and just, maybe she thinks that I'm successful now because I'm all dressed up. And so anyway, we sit down, we have dinner, her and her husband, they're polite, they're not asking me any questions yet. And then we got all done with dinner, get cleaned up. And I said, now, can I show you something I'm really excited about? And she's like, okay. And then I opened up the book that they give you, and I started detailing the outline and the plan, as they call it. And they were polite. They didn't ever say, no, we're not interested. They weren't like the Kirby salesman that we used to have come to our house, and we would be like, nope, we're not interested. But they were very polite. And then we got all done, and they're like, no, Scott, we're not interested. We're good. We're happy with our jobs right now and stuff. I'm like, really? Like, you don't want to make an extra $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month? Are you crazy? I got a little, I don't want to say upset with them, but I was kind of like just questioning them. And so I accepted it and walked away with my tail between my legs. And I was like, wow, okay. That was not fun. And I was embarrassed, and I showed up in a suit. And then after about a month, I felt even more embarrassed. I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe I did that. That's so embarrassing. And even to this day, it's kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you. But I did it. And the way that I really got over that, to be honest with you, was my mother-in-law at the time was throwing away, or not throwing away. She wanted me to get rid of these Tony Robbins CDs not even cassettes. And it was a little book. It was actually a book that you would open up and you'd see all the cassettes in it. And she was giving me some stuff to bring to Salvation Army. And I seen that. And I go, oh, wow, it's Tony Robbins. I've heard about him, but maybe I'll put one of them in. And I put one of them in. I think it was Unleash the Power Within, I think was the program. And I went through and I listened. And it really resonated with me. And he talked about failures. He talked about, not just, thinking you did something and it didn't work and feeling like a failure. So that really got me out of the funk. Now, I didn't do anything after that for a while. I was still a little nervous, a little hesitant. But then when I got my courage up again, I decided to try something else. And that something else was, and I talk about that in the book, was I was going to create a marketing booklet that we used to advertise in. We used to advertise our company in there. We used to spend $1,000 a month, and I'm like, this is a gold mine. All this guy's doing is printing these little coupons and mailing them out to addresses and getting paid $1,000 a month. I can do that. And again, that did not work. But I took those lessons that I learned from the Amway thing and tried to use those there. And then that thing, I tried to take those lessons to the next thing. And then from there, my wife and I decided to start a photography business. And well, if you've read the book, or if you heard the book, or if you've been on this podcast for any period of time, you know that ended up working out. But if I didn't trust in that process and understand that these failures are part of it, and they're not really failures, they're learning experiences. So what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to identify, is there something there why you are limiting your potential, or your confidence is low, or you have self-doubt? Is there a reason that you know clearly that's why? Because if it is, it's easier to identify it, but then to fix it, right? Now, one way that you can fix this, okay, I'm going to give you something to do, and I want you to do this. I actually shared this at Brand Accelerator Live, and I had so many people come up to me and they go, I did it. And I'll tell you what, you're right. I feel so much better now and I'm ready to go out there and conquer the world. Okay. And it's very simple. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. You're going to identify some take action moments in your life right now that you've already done that turned into success. And I don't care if that success was you applied for a job and got the job, but you were nervous because you didn't know you were qualified. And then you got the job and then you still didn't think you were qualified and you thought you were going to, basically get made fun of because you didn't really, whatever, right? All of these things go through your head when you're trying something, but you did it and it ended up, it moved you in the direction that you are maybe now that you got to a certain level in your company or you got to a certain level, in that thing. Or maybe it was, and I always use the example about sports and stuff, but maybe you were going to try out for a travel team. My daughter, who's 12, tried out for some travel teams. And one team last year, she didn't make the national team, but she made the team below that, which is the regional team. And she felt a little defeated, but it's okay because guess what? This year she tried out and she made it, but she wouldn't have if she just would have just said, you know what? I'm no good. She just got better and she believed in herself and she keeps, trying to get better. And that's what we need to do. So I want you to do this. Create your timeline. I want you to take a piece of paper. Okay. I want you to turn it horizontally and I want you to put on the left-hand side of the paper, I want you to put a little stick figure, face. You can even put a smiley face if you want. And then from there, just make a stick figure and then draw a line all the way to the other side before it goes off the page and then draw another stick figure with another smiley face because why not smile, right? And then what I want you to do is draw some vertical lines on there, okay? And then I want you to go all the way back to when you were maybe in high school. And I want you to start kind of highlighting and thinking about what are some things that you've accomplished that you either forgot about or you're not giving yourself credit for because you're like, everyone does that. No, there's things that you did because you took action and those actions gave you a result and it probably created the effect of bringing you to where you are right now. So I want you to trace back those steps, really map out your story, map out your timeline. Now in that timeline, you might want to also grab some lines and drop them below the line. Those are moments that didn't work, right? I talk about one, I actually did this timeline exercise. I did it at Brand Accelerator Live. And there was one there that I had that, everything was going great. We had our photography business. Everything was going awesome. Then we left that and basically started going to the online space, did that for a year. Everything was going great. And then all of a sudden I got a trademark violation from a company saying that we have to basically remove our domain name, all of our branding, or we're going to be sued. And I was on the ultimate high, guys. Like I had the best year ever. And all of a sudden my legs were kicked out from under me and boom, I felt like a failure because how did I miss that? How did I miss that? So that's something to think about. All right. So think about those things. It's okay because you overcame those, but what are those highlights too? So create that timeline, do that exercise. And I'm telling you right now, it'll make a huge, huge difference and make sure that you do that. Okay. So once again, here's what I want you to do. If you haven't done so already, grab my book, The Take Action Effect, either a physical copy, a digital copy, or the audiobook. You can find that by heading over to takeactioneffect.com, and you'll have a link there that you can click on, take you over to Amazon. You can buy the audiobook. You can do the physical paperback. You can do hardcover. You can do the Kindle. It's all there for you. Or if you want a free copy, you can go over to theamazingseller.com/audible, sign up for a free Audible trial, and you can get one book for free, and that could be my book. So make sure that you do that. All right, guys, if you have a question you want me to answer on an upcoming Ask Scott session, please submit it over at theamazingseller.com/ask. And I can go ahead and listen to your question and I can answer it on an upcoming episode. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, remember, I'm here for you. I believe in you and I am rooting for you. But you have to, come on, say it with me. Say it loud. Say it proud. Take action. Have an awesome, amazing day. I'll see you right back here on the next episode. Hey, before you go, could you do me one quick favor? If you haven't done so already, can you head over to iTunes and can you leave me a review over there? I would really love to hear how this podcast has helped you in one way, shape, or form. And oh, by the way, I read every single one of them. And actually, I'm going to read one right now. And this one came in recently from Alan V. And he said, "This is the best podcast that delivers not only free, but most important, very well organized content to help you understand and know what you have to do in your brand and Amazon business. Scott is very energetic," no, really? "and smart about organizing lots of information into little baby steps to help me take action. Thank you very much, Scott, for being an inspiration and for delivering so much." There's a lot of O's there. So again, I read every single one of them. I appreciate all of you, and I would really appreciate it if you would leave me one of your own reviews there as well. And if you haven't also subscribed yet to the podcast, if you can do that, that would be amazing. Talk to you later. Bye.